Had to go to a last resort. This is from my phone, the way I've been doing it before. So what I was trying to say, but I could see nobody was hearing me, is that YouTube changed a few things when you want to go live stream. I'm just trying to put this down. I know I'm quite late. I tried to start. I tried to start a couple of minutes before 10. Let's see. Is this better? Yeah. So YouTube changed a few things. Let me just put the sound up, and I hope I can see. If you're there, just put a like, put a question. Yeah, so YouTube changed a few things. Usually if you go live, there's a dashboard, but now it asks me for some a third-party software. And I use the software, but the problem with the software is there's a lag. I can't really read everything well. Hi, guys. Is it working better now? Can you guys hear me? I'm using my phone. It's a bit high, so I'll bring it down. If you have, just say hi in the chat so I know you're there, and I hope it's working. I'm sorry if the sound is bad. I'm just using the phone now, so, it's not going to be perfect. Ooh, don't fall. Yeah, I'm just setting up now. It doesn't help, you've got all this equipment, you've got a new webcam, and you've got a new computer. And then suddenly things just change and you have to go to your phone again. And I can't even find my other mic. So the thing is, I bought this mic that I used, a lapel mic. And for some reason, every time I plug it in, it doesn't seem to work. I don't know if I should change the switch or something. I'll have to practice using it a little bit later. But it feels good. Now I can actually see. I hope it's streaming live. I hope. Yeah, it's just good being back. Yeah, so this was a really interesting week. I think for teachers all over the world is really interesting because, we can't go to school. So either you're just sitting at home doing lesson planning, hopefully, or you might be busy teaching online, like I'm doing right now too. So many teachers suddenly have to go from being in the classroom and teaching live classes to now suddenly having to use a computer, a mic, try and figure out a way to teach the students online, because online teaching is a lot different from teaching in real life, and many teachers actually fight against it. I think a lot of teachers right now, it's strange that nobody is on. I wonder if it's being picked up. We'll have to see. It's very strange. Well, I'll just keep on going and hope for the best. I don't know if anything is happening right now, because now I'm using my phone. I'm going to have to figure this out. It's going to be the first live stream that I haven't done. I think so. I was just looking at the videos. I've done a live stream on the 3rd of November. That's when I started. So I've been going almost 5 months. 5 months times 4 is 20. 20 videos, right? And so I've done 20 videos. I've only missed 2. The first one was when I was in the Philippines, and I shot a video to upload at the right time. I took a live stream and I added it later. And I think it was a couple of weeks ago when I was practicing the presentation, the seminar I was doing, and instead there was another mistake. So I made a mistake, so it didn't show up on live. I wonder if that's a mistake right now, if it's something to do with it doesn't show up. Anyway, I hope this works. Hi, if anybody's there, please say hi so I know that this is working. I know the sound probably isn't great, but I'm just using my phone, so I know it's working. Yeah, I know it's late. It's already 15 minutes. Hi, you can hear me. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, like I said, I've just been having some problems, not with the computer, but YouTube changed something. So I was trying to do it through OBS and it wasn't working that well. So eventually I just went with my phone. Yeah, it's nice to see you again. I was just saying that my topic today is my topic for today. I think a few people maybe logged in and then they left. My topic for today is corporal punishment. Corporal punishment, it was used a number of years ago, where if somebody did something wrong, a boy, he would get hit with a stick, usually by a teacher. If you're a boy, you get hit on the butt, and if you're a girl, you get a slap on the palm. That's how it usually works. I don't think they spank girls. It might have been different in all girls' schools, but let me just talk from my experience. So my experience, I had corporal punishment growing up, and in our school, whenever you did something wrong, uh, a teacher would say, right, stand up, bend over. He would usually have some kind of stick, and then he would hit you with it on the behind, and it would hurt, it would burn, and then you sit down. Um, yeah, I think, and most of us, we had that throughout primary school or elementary school, and even into high school. When I think they stopped doing it when I was 16. So even going to high school, we got punished a lot through corporal punishment. And the weird thing is, I remember when they first told us that they're going to remove corporal punishment, most of the boys actually thought it was a bad thing. I remember some schools came in and some boys said, no, we're okay with being hit, because corporal punishment, boys in general were fine with it. That's my personal opinion, that if it depends, if corporal punishment is used by a teacher who you trust, and you know that their reason is valid, like let's say you didn't do your homework, it's fair, the teacher would use his own common sense and say, okay, well, everybody just, I remember we had this one teacher, he had a big mustache back in my days, back when I was young, all the male teachers had mustaches. He would come into the classroom and he'd say, right, everybody who didn't do their homework, stand up. And then a lot of boys would sheepishly stand up, maybe one or two girls, and then he'll walk around, hit the girls on the hand. Boys, bend over, pa, 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 sit down. And we were fine with it because it's immediate. You get hit, you try not, you don't cry because it's fair, and I think deep down we knew that the teachers didn't do it because they wanted to humiliate us or make us feel bad, but it's just a way to get punished. Now, the problem is, I think in our schools it was like that. But what if you met a teacher that was unfair or biased, or he actually got a kick out of hurting little kids? That's where you don't have any way to control that, which is kind of bad. So today, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the corporal punishment debate, the pros and the cons, and I'll also give my opinion on it. Because obviously, when I was in high school, we got hits, it was fine, and then when it stopped, it's not like we started burning down the school or anything. There were still ways to punish and to discipline students. So it's not like since corporal punishment went away, kids are just not doing anything. Oh, the light just went on. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at why corporal punishment is a good thing. The first thing, I think, I wrote down a couple of notes. I'll just put it here. The first thing is corporal punishment. It works. If you were at school and a teacher threatened you with corporal punishment, you knew that it's not some baseless threat. It's going to happen. If they say, listen, if you don't do your homework, you're going to get hit. You're going to do your homework, and if it's not done, you're going to get hit. So knew there were consequences to it, and so it worked for the most part. And even boys that are naughty or kids that act out, they knew that the punishment was over their heads, but they would do it anyway, right? So number one, it works. Number two, it's easy. It's not complicated. It's not confusing. There aren't any forms to fill out. Basically, the teacher says bend over, and you say yes, and you get hit. If you said no, usually there would be some other procedure, and they would take you to the principal and bring in your parents, and then it's this long drawn out thing, if you said no to it. Um, but yeah, it depended on the teachers to be wise enough to hit students, because obviously you're not going to hit a student if they feel that it's unfair, or if they're hurt already, or maybe they're going through some type of trauma. You're not going to hit a child then you're just going to say, okay, well, I'll talk to you later about it. But for the most part, it was a very easy and effective way to get especially boys to do what you want. Then it's also very quick, it's not drawn out. It's just, okay, your behind hurts for a little bit. But yeah, and it's also, I think it was easy for the staff too. Like, let's say you're a female teacher, and instead of some boys acting out, you're just like, okay, you boys go and see the teacher, you go there. Okay, so for the most part, and another thing, that I was thinking about is in a school, it's almost being part of a community. Your parents trusted the teachers to punish you in a correct way, because even at home, most of us would get spanked, until we're too old to get spanked. And we also felt it's a rite of passage. In most cases, either it's a boy that did something wrong, or if it's a group of boys, a class that misbehaved, all of them would get hit. And you felt like it's a rite of passage. Afterwards you compare the blue marks you had on your behind. But that brings us to the negative part of it. The main reason why corporal punishment isn't used anymore, and the reason why spanking isn't really used anymore. Where do you see parents spank their children anymore? And do you think that because it's not necessary? We figured out that there are more humane ways to actually enforce discipline. Yeah, it's kind of like, I think one of the things that we kind of think about is that, we needed a way to control kids, and force them to do something. But, we kind of learned that it's not necessary. You can use different ways of enforcing discipline. For example, you can use positive reinforcement. You can you can set limits for them. You can redirect them. You can tell them that you're going to take something away. You can give them boundaries. You say, okay, this is your limitations. And we realized that it worked, because another negative is that you don't want to use violence on anyone, really, because you get your ears pulled at school. We got hit. Yeah, sometimes it was painful. I remember we had this old teacher, this math teacher, that would walk around, and get your ears pulled. That was painful. And if you give someone power, let's say you gave someone power who didn't deserve it, maybe some weirdo, they can really hurt you, and there's nothing you could do back to them. And I think there are a lot of stories that came out from there, students that got hurt. I remember if a student was really bad, maybe we also realized that maybe students are acting out for other reasons. So some students act out because, it's not going well at home. So then they get to school, they act out for some reason, and then they get punished even more. They go back home, and it's just a cycle that repeats itself. So we quickly realized that this isn't a humane way to treat someone, and also that it could actually be used for evil purposes. People could really misuse this. It's basically abuse. And the thing is, it's there's no evidence. I think you don't want to use violence to teach students not to use violence. You say, okay, everyone play nice, but to punish you, we're going to hit you, right? That sets a wrong mentality. And also, there's no evidence. If somebody does something wrong, you can actually gather evidence, and perhaps that evidence of wrongdoing can help the student. You can correct that behavior in the future. But if you just said you're wrong and you hit them, you're never really going to solve the problem unless it's something like that, right? And it doesn't last. Or what are you going to think? If you teach a student how to behave properly, and if you set boundaries, they start to understand how they should act in the world. And if you just hit someone for you hit them and you expect them to realize their mistakes, maybe that's not going to happen. So actually, by learning and teaching them the right way, maybe it'll have a lasting impact. But here's what it comes down to. I think the main thing for me is that the reason that corporal punishment worked isn't because students got hit. We think back to the old days how corporal punishment worked. We think of we were part of the school, and our family was part of the school. It was a community of people bringing each other up. But today, I think society has changed a little bit, where it isn't. I think school structures are still there, but it's not like the teachers are also responsible for raising your kids. We understand that they're professionals and they've got lives outside of it. So I think the reason people are positive about it in the past is because it was used in a positive, constructive way. And then the reason people think it's negative is because obviously really bad things happen. And for the most part, we would rather take away this grand idea of corporal punishment being good, in my case, thinking, oh yeah, it's part of the group, it's just a way to do it. And it's better to let that go to stop all these bad things from happening, if that makes sense. So yeah, whatever good reasons there are to use corporal punishment, it doesn't hide the fact that all these bad things can happen to students, and there can be an abuse of power, and we don't want to show them that, because violence breeds more violence. Yeah, Christina, it's so nice to see you here. I think there's something wrong with my stream. Usually people are up. I saw some people commenting before. Guys, if you're there, put a comment, but I don't see it happening. Let me quickly think. Yeah, because the reason I'm talking about corporal punishment is because one of our members is from Sudan, and he says in Sudan, the only way that they have to actually control the students is by corporal punishment. It's because this is all the students have known. They've known that, they misbehave, they're going to get hit. And he says that a lot of students act out. This is the only way to control them. But that's not true. That's demonstrably not true, because look at all the rest of the world, basically. Are students going crazy? Some of them, sure, but schooling continues, education continues. These children have now grown up into adults and they're fine. When did corporal punishment end? Maybe 90s to 2000s for most countries. I know that it's actually legal. It's still legal in many states in America and in many countries, but most countries and most states don't use corporal punishment. Yeah, so it's not necessary. There are ways to do this, and like we said, you have rules, you've got boundaries for the students. Hi guys, if you're there, just say hello. Sorry so much for starting late. I'm just sorting out technology. I thought, this morning or this tonight, I was preparing stuff and I was so laid back because I thought everything was ready. I had my camcorder on, and so the first time I started to stream, I had the video and I had the message board here, but it looked kind of strange, and people said they didn't hear me. Obviously, it's probably because of this mic. I don't know. I was using the mic earlier and it was working, but it's got two settings here, so maybe I'll just change the setting. Or I was looking for my shotgun mic, or just using the webcam's mic. It's like I've got so many tools to my disposal, but I don't get anything to work. And finally, I just switched on my phone, which works, but unfortunately, the sound quality isn't too great. Yeah, so what I would say to that teacher, back to corporal punishment, is that you have to start finding other ways to do it. And of course, it's not just going to happen overnight, but I think you have to get the students used to the idea that you're not going to use corporal punishment. You're going to have rules in your classroom and you're going to enforce them. You're going to build relationship with the students so that they understand right from wrong. And the idea that I get is that a lot of parents can use corporal punishment when kids are younger as a quick fix. Imagine you're going to the mart, the grocery store, and you have your little toddler with you, and he just starts screaming that he wants something to eat, or I think sometimes you see these viral videos of an airplane and a kid just screaming and going crazy inside the airplane. Have you seen that video? And then most people just think, just bend that child over and spank them for the goodness of us all. And obviously, other parents have great kids without ever laying a hand on them. So obviously, you should, from a young age, you should have boundaries for the students. As a teacher in your class, you should have students coming in and they should know the exact rules. Now, later this year, hopefully when I have time, I'm actually going to do a series on how to enforce discipline in the classroom, how to handle these situations. It's difficult just to say it in one sentence and to show you how to do it, but there are ways for teachers to actually control their classrooms without resorting to violence. And I like the word resorting to violence, because that is the last resort and it shouldn't be used unless you're in danger, I guess, or if somebody's you should never use violence on someone, especially a child. So yeah, I think restraining someone is fine, but not to actually cause them pain or hurt. That's horrible. Nobody wants to go through that. So yeah, I think the main point that I want to get at is, in the past there were many good reasons to use corporal punishment, because we felt like we're part of a community and it was a quick fix. But these days, we should actually use rationale and use these other tools to our disposal, boundaries, limitations, setting limits, positive reinforcement, all these other things that we can use as teachers, right, to actually control our classrooms. Okay. Yeah, guys, once again, I'm so sorry if you didn't see this. I wish it worked better. It's all my fault. I should have set it up earlier and made sure it worked. This week, I love talking to you guys. So I'm so sad that it's not working. So later this week, I'm going to still be busy. I'm busy with online classes. I'm still making my videos with Christina, and it's just and then I've also got to prepare for, so I've got my live for my classes, I've got my videos, and I have to prepare. They asked me to do another seminar in 2 or 3 weeks, so I've got to start preparing for that. Yeah, it's exciting times, but I hope to work hard and just bring out some good content. If you're a bit worried about just online content, don't worry. I told myself I'm just going to do these online videos for a month. So every day I want to put out a video about online teaching. So that is what I want to do. After that, I'm going to continue back to it. It's really possible. I think there's something to it. Well, Christina, it was nice having you here. I don't think I did a great job today with the live stream, but just got to do better next time. Yeah. Okay. Everyone, sorry for messing up the live stream. I hope to see you soon, and good luck with your weeks. I'm going to see if I can do something now, just to see if there's someone on the live stream again. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.